I didn't expect to start this video with a device from Netgear, but the Netgear Meural Canvas 2 is a really interesting digital display for your smart home. It can be set in either portrait or landscape mode, and there are a number of different colors and frame types. It can display NFTs, and of course it has Amazon voice control. It's not cheap at $400 US for a 16 by 24 and $600 US by a 19 by 29 inch version, and there are a couple of swivel mount accessories. Plus, if you want to try getting things like NFTs to display on this, there's going to be some costs there. But there are some really interesting things on the service that they're using called async art, where NFT art pieces that you can display will get automatic daily updates for things like the price of cryptocurrency or the amount of COVID infections in an area. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and I started the video by saying I didn't expect to start it with a product from Netgear, but I didn't expect to make a video like this so soon after CES, but there are so many new products that came out during the holiday break or shortly thereafter. Speaking of the holiday break, SwitchBot sent me an absolutely amazing advent calendar, and if you haven't already seen one of these unboxed, then you're missing out, because honestly this was one of the best things, if not the best thing I've ever received in the mail. But the most exciting thing about this was that SwitchBot sent us some new products to have a look at. And while they are not going to be the final versions of products, we did get a new pan and tilt camera, the new LED strips, which are the final version, a SwitchBot door lock, and brand new SwitchBot curtains that will help with maintaining a good connection with your curtain rod as they move down the line. The new pan and tilt camera is 1080p, has night vision, and should work up to 30 feet with that night vision. It can spin around totally and has 115-degree vertical tilting. Plus it supports a 128GB micro SD card. It will also have features like waypoints and a privacy mode, as well as two-way communication, and of course live view with integration into Google and Amazon voice assistants. Something that I have been looking for a while with SwitchBot is whether or not they would start to support wireless connectivity other than by Bluetooth, and the LED strips are one of the first products with Wi-Fi connectivity at 2.4 gigahertz. So we'll see if this is the start of a shift for the platform to maybe using Matter. But to me, the SwitchBot lock is very interesting, as it looks like a pretty small form factor that would be easy to install on the inside of your door. It does use Bluetooth 5.0 to communicate with one of your mini hubs, but it also uses just two CR123A batteries to give you what is estimated to be a 6-month battery life. All of these new products will come to us in 2022, and I think many of them will come very soon. I showed Aqara's G2H camera here on Automate Your Life a little while ago, and it's absolutely a fantastic security camera, as well as a fantastic Zigbee hub to use with all of Aqara's devices. But the G2H Pro was recently launched in mainland China, and we've been told about a new occupancy sensor called the P1, and there's a P1 door and window sensor that is launched there as well. Now, why am I telling you about these products launched in China from Aqara? Well, their normal path as a company is that they launch in China and then evaluate and bring the devices to the rest of the world. My guess is that we will see all of those come to both Europe and North America very soon. The G2H Pro itself should have features like NAS storage and a larger capacity for micro SD cards, as well as working with HomeKit Secure Video. It will also work with Amazon and Google Smart Displays, but there's even an option to mask out certain zones on the G2H Pro so that the video is not sent to any third-party servers. This is an incredible feature for privacy. The other thing we learned from Aqara is that they will be releasing thread versions of their door and window and motion sensors in the latter half of 2022. That announcement, in combination with the M2 and M1S hub getting Matter support, means that Aqara is moving in that Matter direction as well. Now, Speaking of Matter and Thread, Netatmo released a thread-based security sensor that does both motion and door or window sensing. This isn't unlike SwitchBot's contact sensor that they gave us last year, but this one has that fancy thread connectivity and will be HomeKit compatible. Sadly, no release date or pricing, and we know Netatmo can be a little bit on the higher side of pricing. Now, I find that with most HomeKit devices. So when I tell you that Wemo put out a smart video doorbell for $250 US, then you won't be surprised. The camera has a 178-degree field of view, which is wild, and it's a 4-megapixel camera with night vision. It's HomeKit secure video only, so there's no plan to work with Amazon or Google, which to me is a funny way to take the Wemo brand since basically nothing has worked to date. At least not for me. It supports 16 to 24 volts AC, so a number of folks will need a transformer and likely a professional install. Plus, it's so thick, so remember when we complained about Google's doorbell design? Continuing down the path of these costly products, we can talk about two new devices from Eve that you can go and purchase today. The Eve Coulisse motion blinds are thread-based and focus on being HomeKit compatible, but there's a Wi-Fi bridge add-on today that allows them to come into Google, Amazon, SmartThings, and If This Then That, and I'm betting after Matter's release, the need for that bridge will go away. You can buy them in a massive number of configurations, whether you want blinds or curtains, and pricing will obviously vary based on your measurements and the design, but you can go have a look at it now to see if you can purchase them in your country. But Eve wasn't done there because they have upgraded their Eve Room air quality monitor with thread support as well. That's $100 US. It does VOC measurements as well as temperature and humidity, plus it will work with Apple HomeKit as everything Eve does. But when I stick that next to Amazon's new air quality monitor here, it's missing the parts per million particles and carbon monoxide. So obviously this is intended for a little bit of a different audience, with HomeKit compatibility being paramount. As I do on a regular basis to bring you videos like this, I was speaking with some of the PR contacts at Meross, and I asked them if they had any new products to share with me, and sure enough, they showed me these 3 sensors that they're preparing to release very soon. And what's really interesting about what they've done here is that those sensors will be working off of signals at 433 megahertz. They'll come with a hub in a package, and that does have HomeKit compatibility with it. But I like that each sensor is quite small, and that with their wireless standard being at 433, they're going to keep things off of your Wi-Fi. But you'll also have SmartThings and Amazon Voice Assistant integration as well. Speaking of those PR contacts, my friends at Amazon have given me a lot to talk about in the last few months as they've released a number of new products. And I've shown little clips of the Amazon sticky note printer, the new light switch from Amazon Basics, and even the new DVF version of the Echo Dot. But what Amazon gave us over the break was actually a new remote for the Fire TV Stick Lite. And of course I bought it just before they put that out. But what the new remote gets is new shortcut buttons. It doesn't have the volume controls, but you get the new ones and make it look like the other remotes. Amazon has also expanded the potential for connectivity with their Sidewalk protocol, which is being expanded into more rural areas or in areas with less homes using the upcoming Amazon Sidewalk Bridge Pro. I don't think a lot of you are necessarily going to go get one of these for your home because you won't need it. You live in a home. But I do like the idea of things like wildfire detection or the ability to get things like air quality status through this network. Really what it is an implementation of the LoRa technology and with Amazon's little added bits. But what this tells us is that Amazon's goal is the smart city market now. That little device is branded as a Ring product, but probably the more popular device with all of you will be the new ring glass break sensor, and it does exactly what it says it does, as it will listen for glass breaking throughout your home and will report on that through the Ring security system. However, I'd like to point out that you pretty much already have this if you've bought into any Amazon Echo products, because you could just turn on Amazon Guard, which listens for glass breaking through your Echo speakers. One of our biggest winners in the 2021 Smart Home Awards was Google, but not because of any of their new product releases. That seems a bit odd, but that's how the awards go sometimes when people really love a product. And obviously the Google Chromecast with Google TV is a really popular product, as more televisions and more streaming sticks get that new operating system. There are 3 new versions of Google TV sticks from Xiaomi, T-Mobile, and MeCool, and I'm sure there are more to come, but all 3 of these 4K Google TV sticks come with their own remote, and in the case of the T-Mobile version, you actually have an Ethernet port on board. It also looks like these will support some better codecs in some cases versus the Google Chromecast itself. As these come out, we're going to have to do some comparisons and see if Google's own Chromecast still reigns as king. If you haven't already heard, the legal battle between Sonos and Google has caused Google some problems, and I've detailed those in a video that's available in the description or up on screen now. But that legal battle hasn't stopped Sonos from releasing a slightly upgraded version of the IKEA Symfonisk bookshelf speaker. I guess that product's working, so they really didn't change much. Shelly gave us a couple of Plus level relays in their lineup, and there's the Shelly Plus 1 and the Shelly Plus 1 PM. With both of those products, they took a lot of the networking options and really ramped them up with things like simultaneous use of both cloud connection and MQTT firmware. Webhooks, as well as options even within the app around sunrise and sunset, have been improved as well. They've also added Bluetooth to both of these Plus version devices, and pricing is only increased by a few dollars. Of course, with all of these new products coming out, it's sometimes hard to visualize how you would use any of them, and I don't blame you, so I created a video for the products that came out at CES 2022, but I did it in a way that showed you how you could integrate those products into one of your days, and it's been a really popular format, so I hope you enjoy that video. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, don't hate, automate.